Hey everybody. Yeah. So I know I was supposed to do a video yesterday, but just kind of wanted to get caught up a little bit on, some finals because you guys know I go to college and all that. So now that I've sort of eased that down a little bit, finally I could of course go back to making some videos. I know you guys were probably expecting a toy review, but don't worry. You guys know I always got stuff like that cooking. I did a not yesterday, right? I think it was okay. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, I'm trying to remember today. Yeah, I did a video talking about sort of some of the updates. I was gonna do some of the plans for next year and all that, and I'll still go through most of what I want because there's definitely a lot more in-depth stuff I'd like to get into. But today, we're just gonna be talking about good old Hasbro because wow, I mean, honestly, I didn't really know what to talk about at first because there's so many things that are going on with this company alone. It's like, I mean, it was one of two things. I was either gonna talk about the employees getting laid off before the holiday season, of course, or talking about the fact that they're doing a nice little collaboration with McFarlane Toys. So I'm like, wait a minute, that's I don't know which one is more interesting. So I guess I'll talk about both in a sense. I guess this is going to be a sort of positive and negative kind of video. But honestly, I don't really know where to really go with it because it's so weird that out of nowhere, they pretty much let go of like, I think if I remember the numbers on the top of my head, I think like 1,100 employees or so. That's a lot. So the reasoning for why that happened is because Hasbro pretty much lost like 20% in toy sales, which is not good because it's the holiday season. So you would think that because of that, they're making bank on their toys. Because let's be honest here, the people within the toy community, whatever, and all that, they could talk all the shit they want, whatever. There's always going to be people buying this type of stuff no matter what. And it's okay if you don't like these toys for whatever reason, but of course, don't crap on anyone else's fun. So the only thing I've been seeing lately, and it bothers me a little bit, is how you go to places like Kohl's, Marshalls, mostly Ross. They've been doing like these weird big sales within toys lately because they got a lot of Hasbro products, and we're ranging from like GI Joe classifieds, Marvel Legends, and I'm over here thinking, damn, I wish I had a Ross near me. I don't. The closest thing I have is Burlington, and that's only if you might find a little something. Because yeah, I found a lot of good stuff. I even did a little toy hunt too. It was a really short one though. I think it was like 2 or 3 minutes because this was before I managed to. I forgot the name of the app, but it's some new beta thing from YouTube where you can edit your videos now and you can combine multiple different clips. That was before that, so obviously I was splitting my toy hunts into sections and all that. So I just filmed that one video of me at Burlington and I found Captain America from Infinity War and some Ninja Turtle stuff. So that's cool, you know. So I don't know how that portrays within Hasbro's part because do they still get the money even though these figures are really cheap now? You know what I mean? Because 20%, that might not sound like a lot, but it definitely is, especially for a big giant company because they got a lot of products going on. Remember, it's not just Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe we're talking about here. We're talking about Transformers, Star Wars, Power Rangers. I'm probably maybe missing a few more, but you get the point. Hasbro is not the young kid on the block, if you know what I mean. No, they've been around for quite a while, even if it doesn't look like it for the most part, because, I mean, you get the idea, because of the whole Toy Biz. They used to own Marvel Legends and all that. We could get into all that craziness some other time. What I really want to get into, though, is McFarlane Toys because, okay, for a company that kind of feels a little bit like a competitor, it's interesting that doing a little bit of a nice little collab. So who knows what sort of products we could get from that? You know what I mean? I mean, I think that's great. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't really talk about their DC toys and all that really for sure. I think this might be like maybe the first time I'm even speaking about it. You might have seen maybe some of their toys during my toy hunts and all that, but as you guys know, I'm the type of person that's always unfocused, so like I try my best to sort of spread out and be like, okay, I might not like this or that, but I'll still show it to you guys anyway because I want you guys to at least enjoy the toy hunts, instead of just watching me look for the same stuff over and over and over again. You know what I mean? So I guess I could talk a little bit about how that toy line works because obviously if they do DC action figures, of course, yeah, they're like how do I don't even know how to really explain it. It's like they're slightly cheaper than Marvel Legends stuff, but obviously there's always some sort of catch. It's not a perfect toy line either. To give you guys, of course, kind of a clue on how this company kind of works. I mean, they've done like other products too. The most biggest one, obviously, is Spawn because Todd McFarlane is the creator of Spawn. And if you don't know who Todd McFarlane is, basically he used to work for Marvel, but of course he was one of the many comic book artists that wanted to split up and do their own thing. And of course, this also helped build Image Comics and all that. So because of that, obviously, he's the guy that created Spawn. So it makes sense that because he always had that vision of like wanting to create action figures but for adults. I mean, he's the one that kind of pioneered that. I say kind of because there probably was other companies that came up with that idea, but you get the point. He's pretty much the one that kind of stuck that idea into a lot of collectors' head, and that's why we got so many nice adult collectibles now. People want to be like, oh, kids don't buy toys no more, whatever, but it's no wonder why they don't buy toys no more. Look how like extremely cool and detailed they are now. I mean, this Snake Eyes figure, this is like a G.I. Joe fan's wet dream right here. Are you kidding me? This is nuts, as someone who recently got into G.I. Joe this year and stuff like that, though, it's incredible. It's an incredible toy line for sure. Now, don't get me wrong. I also felt the same way with DC and all that, but in my personal take, they don't really, it doesn't kick for me for some reason, and I don't know if it's because they make a lot of figures based off of the movies, which, as we all know, the past couple of movies haven't really been all that great for the most part, I haven't seen Blue Beetle. I know a lot of people said that was pretty good, so I'm not going to cast any judgment on that. Same goes for Aquaman, I haven't seen it. It's not out yet anyway, so, sorry, I'm not going to rain down on anyone's fun like that. I think you guys get the point of what I'm trying to say. Even though I personally don't collect the DC, multiverse figures, whatever they're called, I know they got a sort of name with it, I still appreciate them for what they are. I still think that it's a great toy line, even if it's not for me. And I could say the same thing for, the Power Rangers stuff from their Lightning collection, for, with Hasbro. I could say the same thing. They look really nice, but of course I'm not going to buy them if I'm not a Power Rangers fan. So because Hasbro and McFarlane Toys are going to be doing this weird collab, it of course begs question as to what kind of figures are we going to be expecting to see. Because the only information that we seem to get is those weird punch holder figures or whatever they're called. Basically what they are, they're like those little small quarter-inch figures. I think they're like 3 inches or so, and they usually come like either by themselves or like 2 figures, and it comes with a comic book, which is cool in a sense because that's very similar to what Hasbro used to do with some of their older Marvel figures. Where they used to do like 3/4 inch figures, and they always came with a comic book, which is really cool. You know what I mean? I kind of miss that in a way, So it seems that is what they've mentioned so far with what they plan on doing. They haven't necessarily sort of explained exactly what they're gonna do, so I can only wonder starting next year or so, which is not too far away, obviously. We'll start to unravel and see a lot more stuff in the future. I hope that that's not the only thing we get, because then if it is, then there's no point of me making this video because I'm not really into that, and I don't know if you guys are, the whole punch holder things. I don't know. It's just me. I'm just saying. But of course, that also begs the other question about Hasbro and their sales, because this is the part that confuses me the most. So it seems like maybe for them that's nothing because, mind you, today they just did one of their little reveals. Basically, they showed off a lot of like new X-Men figures coming out next year. It's basically Wolverine's 50th anniversary or so. So they've showed so many great figures. I'm like, damn, I love that, And I mean, you guys seen my last video, I showed off my Marvel Legends collection, for crying out loud, and I had a lot more X-Men than I thought. I would have never even like, wow. I'm so disappointed I don't have Beast or Nightcrawler. Now we'll definitely, I mean, we're getting a new Nightcrawler figure, but you get the idea, right? And the other thing too, even with the G.I. Joe team, they did like their little fan streams, like I think like a few days ago or so. So it's like, everything seems fine. It's even the same people and everything, same group, same everything. So I'm wondering, there's gotta be something else that's involved here, because why the hell would they, let go of more than 1,000 employees from the company right before Christmas time? A lot of people kind of see that as a dick move, if you know what I mean. Letting someone go, and then, especially with the busiest time of the year, it's like, yeah, it's not hard to see why people get mad. But the reason why I'm questioning it so much is that they're still revealing new products. They're showing a lot of stuff. They're still confident, you know. And they did now they're gonna be working with Todd, you know. And I'm like, okay, something doesn't seem right. But you know that, no offense, but you know that, you know, if I were to bring this conversation with other people, I don't know what they're gonna say. They're probably gonna be like, you know, oh, I'll just wait till, you know, the next Marvel Legends 2 pack is on clearance or so. And I'm like, oh my god, we're doing this again, you know. I thought we were past this, but you know. Mind you, people love to talk shit about Hasbro, but mind you, McFarlane Toys, their stuff is not all that, you know, it's not all that either. I'm just saying. I've definitely seen my fair share of like weirdness when it comes to like quality control and all that. So listen, no toy company is perfect, all right? So the only thing I can really say about all this is let's take all of this with a grain of salt, because we're seeing a lot of great things happening, but then also a lot of bad things happening at the same time. So it's like kind of messes with your feelings a little bit, if I'm being honest, you know. But I'm not mad, you know. Just weird. I just feel weird, especially for a lot of those people. I really do feel bad that they're being let go like that, because that's not a good feeling at all. I can only imagine that, you know. I mean, no, you don't want that for nobody, you know, especially around the holiday season, you know. Mind you, you know, it's no different than retail, where you can work there one day and then the next thing you know, maybe the next day or so, you could be told that they're shutting down, you know, and then you're not gonna have a job no more. So it's like, oh geez. So I don't know what's gonna happen. You know, we gotta take this into stride and just, you know, be on the lookout. Just check it out. You know, let's check out the updates on all that. And of course, you know, I hope that those people are also okay, because you know, like I said, being let go like that during the holiday season, that's gotta hurt like a lot. But it's so weird that it looks like, you know, I mean, McFarlane Toys, they're okay. They're doing fine for the most part. But with Hasbro, it's like, how you just got this massive hit, so I wonder why are they still doing all this juicy, expensive stuff. You know what I mean? So either there's something else going on that we're not seeing, or maybe 20% is really not as bad as it sounds to them. But you know, I'm just saying. I mean, who knows? So you know, I don't know if I'll cover more of this. You know, I mean, you guys know me. I like to be, you know, at least a little positive. And you know, whenever there's something stupid that happens, some BS, of course, you know, I want to call it out at the same time. You know, so another thing I want to say though, because this happened with Hasbro, I don't. I mean, I hope, you know. I don't want people going after the teams of, you know, for Marvel Legends and all that, and then the GI Joe people, you know, like the employees and stuff like that, because you know, obviously they probably don't have nothing to do with what's happening with the company. You know, I'm just saying, you know, it's one of those situations where, as cruel as this might sound, it looks like that we're gonna have to just sort of leave it be, even if it sounds pretty messed up for the most part. I mean, it's sad, you know. And I want to look forward to this whole, you know, DC collab and all that, you know, but who knows? Also, can you imagine if in the future we get like Marvel Legends style DC figures? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll get like, did you get the idea? The aesthetic and the way they look. I think that would be very beneficial. Only because the McFarlane Toys, the problem with them is that they have a very specific scale that they're at and very specific articulation points as well. So if you want to do like the comparison with both toy lines, you can't really do that because of the differences and all that. And there's definitely plenty of other videos that do explain it a lot more in depth. But you get the point. You know, I'm looking forward to this, but at the same time, I'm not. You know, especially with what I've been hearing. But you get the point. But those X-Men figures, though, they're pretty juicy. So until then, I hope you guys stay safe out there. You know, I know that this video is kind of late. Hopefully it reaches to you guys, you know, fast. You know, I hate when this video gets uploaded late, super late. But you get the point. What are your thoughts too, as well as to what's going on? But please, please do me a favor. Be appropriate, because I've seen like the most craziest shit in the comments, and people are not. No, I'm just saying. I haven't really seen a lot of nice things. So let's keep it at that. So thank you guys for watching. Might see another video tomorrow. Might be a toy hunt. Might be a toy review. I can't promise that. I'm not too sure. It's a little surprise. So let's take it like that. And as for the gameplays and all that, there'll probably be another one on Saturday or so. We'll see. Maybe. So until then, see you guys next time.